Would it be very rude if, in the event of another brake failure, I just did a tuck and roll and got it?
Do you know anybody who drives along with their arm across the other seat when like that? When you're not
because
let go.
that's what you're doing there. Well, first of all, that's not a natural. Again, you're making me very unrelaxed now. Between your literally not working brakes and your slightly cretaceous arm posture, it's all got a bit weird. No, but because also what you've just done there is your dad reversing stance.
Dad reversing.
Dad reversing.
Yeah. Do you do it?
Yeah, I've started doing it
Because you're a
pretty
dad.
much around the time I became a dad. It's like it's actually genetic.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
My mate's dad used to drive along, and this was the dad that had he did have a Scorpio.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Bug-eye or...
No.
Luxo.
80s Mark III.
Luxo Aero Granada.
Yeah. Big Sierra. He used to drive, like when we all went out, like in the summer holidays, he'd be the one that would take us somewhere quite cool. But he'd always have his arm across the passenger seat, not trying to like molest, but just full stretch, full relax. And at first I found it disconcerting, and then I realised it was just the way he drove. But he was always tired. He was always yawning. He was always yawning and always chewing gum. Like in the door pocket was just a mat, like a grain mountain of Orbit. I remember.
Is it possible that his brain wasn't getting enough oxygen?
What I love about this car, the same as my Fiat 500, is if I sit back like my friend's dad in the Scorpio, I think I can touch the back window while I'm driving. Look, with a flat palm.
So really, the heated rear window is sybaritic capitalist nonsense, and
Yeah.
they should have deleted it immediately. So I went to Poland last year, and it was just when you had bought this car and you'd sent me a picture of it.
That's right.
And I used your picture of this car that you sent me to try and ingratiate myself to Polish people. Because I'd say, oh, a mate of mine's just bought a Polish car actually, and I'd show them the picture, expecting that they would all be delighted. And what I actually found, speed bump, is that in Poland there isn't really much warmth and nostalgia for this car, because it was a functional thing. It's all you could get.
Yeah.
And people were glad to see the back of it.
Yeah.
You go, hey, look at this old... They call them the Maluk, don't
The
they?
Maluk, yeah.
You go, look at this Maluk, and they'd be like, yeah, I've got an Audi Q5 now. You know, they want to move on, they want to be
But you can understand that.
a 21st century country, and so they don't want to dwell on the past that they were sort of forced upon them.
Well, if you grew up at a time where even to buy one of these was a huge amount of money, and the alternative was bicycle, walking, one of those rotavators that doubles as a vehicle in them. Have you seen those? Like I've seen those in rural Spain. It's always an old dude driving along the road on a rotavator.
Yes, sort of flat cap, face like a walnut.
Yes. And his wife sitting on the back, and they haven't talked for 4 years.
No. So my translator that I had when I went to Warsaw, because it was on official business to promote
you had a book out, Richard.
Yeah, my book was translated into Polish. Went over there to plug the book, had a translator, lovely girl called Olga, and I was talking to her about the Maluk, and she said, oh yes, my father had one, and at some point it had been parked. There had been some kind of incident involving the army, and his Maluk got all shot up in the crossfire, and it had bullet holes down the doors. And she said, well, he just drove it like that for ages afterwards.
Yeah, because like I said, they were expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he'd waited ages for it, he'd paid a fortune for it, or he was still paying for it. He wasn't going to even pay to have a repair because it wasn't strictly necessary. So he just drove around with this bullet-riddled car.
Is that an old medieval bandstand?
Yeah, it's definitely medieval.
What's your favourite medieval musical instrument?
Oh, the lute. Obviously.
Straight away.
Why? What else would there be?
Crumhorn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The crumhorn is like a clarinet that's really annoying.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say "oh, the lute," I'm not suggesting the lute isn't fucking annoying, because it seems like the main purpose of medieval instruments was to be annoying.
Can you imagine if they did a medieval Guitar Hero?
What, like my mate Joel, who wanted to do a series about a crime-fighting medieval stuntman called Medieval Knievel.
That sounds really good.
I know.
It would be like the Fall Guy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly like that.
So Medieval Fall Guy.
Yes.
Called Medieval Knievel.
Yeah, and he's always doing massive jumps on his horse.
Does he use? And hang on, in medieval times, did they have coaches and stagecoaches? They didn't, did they?
No, I think it's a bit pre there.
It's pre-stagecoach.
But he would jump over like a load of other people on horses.
Stop it.
With the legs going in the air.
Just found something that I didn't know was under here. Got a spare wiper.
That's good. Well, now
We're being overtaken.
you could do your back window with that.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. That could be an option.
Lorries are quite big when you're in a car this small, aren't they?
Yeah. Look at the size of the tyres.
Quite big and quite going faster than us. It's settled down, doesn't it?
I think it's
settled
all right.
down.
Do you know if we were going on a a nice relaxing weekend away, and we weren't in a hurry,
Yes.
we would maybe go B roads. If I said to you, let's go B roads now to Hull
Yes.
for the weekend.
Well, I'm trying to think if we live in Warsaw. It's 1990.
Yeah.
You're a successful architect.
I am. Yeah.
You've just treated yourself to this, which you've been on the waiting list for 7 years.
Yeah.
You're a bit annoyed because, in fact, it appears that communism is going away.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you've got your car now.
Yeah.
I'm a poet of no repute whatsoever, but we've been friends since school, and we're going to go and see another old school friend of ours who runs a shipbuilding concern in Gdansk.
What are we going to do for the weekend? What are we going to do?
We're going to drink vodka,
And eat cabbage.
and we're going to sing some very, very, very heartfelt, throaty songs that were previously banned.
That's the other thing about old cars, which I'm sure you share my opinion on. For all their flaws and everything, I feel like I'm escaping when I get into an old car.
Really?
Because you're driving history, you think back to like, what would this have been like if this was your only car?
Yes.
What was this like when the person bought it and went, I'm really pleased with it? You know, someone's really looked after it, and I'm very grateful to them for doing that. But I am regrettably selling it, not because I don't like it, because I really love it, and it's just the right condition.
Yes.
But I've just after Christmas, I found a Honda for sale that was very, very rare, and I couldn't turn it down really.
Which Honda was this?
Honda S600 Coupe.
Nice.
So about the same size actually, tiny little thing. But it's a beautiful thing. The engine, there's no comparison between the engine of a 600 and the engine of this, despite the fact that they're almost the same size.
So this little Maluk.
The little Malik, I do have to sell it, and I've tried to work out a way of not selling it, but
I would offer to buy it off you, but? I sort of I'm about to have too many cars as it is.
Well,
So
it's always an issue, isn't it?
It is an issue. Can I ask you a question? I notice here you've got a little diagram of the car, and it appears to have the tyre pressures written next to it.
In bar.
Now, that's quite a thoughtful touch. Because
Yeah,
I hate it when you get out of the car and you're doing the tyre pressures, and you've got to find a little sticker in the fuel filler,
or in the door
and then
shuts.
it turns out it's not. That was your old car where I had it in the fuel filler, and
Yeah.
I had it with our family car. I remembered at last it's a sticker on the door frame,
Yeah, that's
driver's
right.
door,
Yeah,
because I was going through the handbook and it's weirdly not in the handbook.
No,
I
it's-
hate all that.
yeah.
What a great idea. There it is, you can't forget. But does any part of that light up, or does it just look like it should?
Are you asking me whether you think a Fiat 126 from the communist era has tyre pressure monitors?
Not tyre pressure.
In the valves?
No, I realise as I say it, that's a stupid question. That it
Do you know what it does?
Go on.
Look really carefully. It does nothing.